If Henry Cejudo beats Sterling, what is he going to do? Right? I mean, there's a fine line in genius and insanity. And it's very tough to follow the golden rule, which is to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. What would you do? And then assume that they would do the same thing. It's very hard when you have somebody of the level of success of Henry. You're not in their shoes. You're never going to be in their shoes. You're not going to be the youngest Olympic champion of all time. You're not going to be the guy that stops the greatest of all time, changes divisions, does it again. You're not going to be the main event on the debut of ESPN. Like, there's just things that aren't going to happen that makes it very hard to try to guess. Right? Let's just say Henry beats Aljo. That is a massive win. That will really be a crowning moment to come back with a layoff and be the one to stop the younger champion. Historically, it's simply not the way it's done. History says Cejudo gets beat. But let's say he doesn't. Henry has been extremely vocal. He never wanted Aljo. He never wanted Jon. He never wanted the 135-pound title. I mean, it's important that you know, when Henry was talking about his comeback and was planning and mounting the comeback, Peter Yan was the champion. Just so you understand. This is what Henry thought he was coming into, and he said, I'll pass. Not interested. I will come back if you can give me Volkanovski. It was about champ status. 3 weight classes, never been done. This is what he conquered. But it's very relevant you understand that that's his motivation, because as much as for some of us that just wouldn't matter. Hey, look, it pays the same. It's a main event. It's a feature. It's a world championship. It's legacy. I mean, you could go on and on and on. When guys have already done that, sometimes it's hard to imagine, right? Jon Jones gave a world championship back. I can't imagine that. Worked my whole life to be a world champion. I could not imagine having level of success that where I would give it back. You can have it. I'm no longer the champion of the world. Here you go. I couldn't imagine. I would have fought for that thing with all my worth, like a dog on a bone, and I think that you guys could relate to that. So that's where I'm just making the point that sometimes it's hard when you have these guys that are possibly geniuses and possibly insane. Maybe a little mixture of both. The way that the sport is going right now, Henry would draw in to Sugar Sean. I don't know if anything has been made more clear to us as far as contendership goes in the entire sport. Any organization in any weight class, either division. I don't know if anything has been made more clear for us than the fact that Sugar Sean is next. But what happens if that's not what Henry wants to do? I would have never advised Henry at 246 to drop the mic and walk away in a co-main spot. I would have never advised or predicted that Henry, who was in what we call participation, meaning he was the champion, he's bringing the championship. His paycheck and his involvement is completely different than if he's a contender. Even if he's fighting for the championship, it's different if he didn't bring the championship. I hope that I'm saying that clear enough that you guys can understand. So Henry walked away. Henry's getting ready to do the exact same thing that he could have done 2 years ago when he was fresh, sharp, in shape, on weight, and making millions of dollars. He's now going to do the same thing, but the situation is very different. I don't say that to tease Henry at all. I say that so that you guys understand. Attempting to predict what's going to motivate or drive somebody that has this extremely rare level of success is a very hard thing to do. I got to take Henry at his word. Henry was interested in fighting Conor McGregor and was willing to do it at 155 pounds. Henry returned to the sport thinking he was going to fight Volkanovski. Now, I know behind the scenes, Henry got very close to that goal. Henry was told that he could have a fight with Max Holloway. And if he could prove it and he could defeat Max, he could then have the Volkanovski opportunity. So people were listening. But simultaneous to that, he could also have a title match if he did it at his weight class of 135 pounds. So it's a very interesting spot. I know they don't like guys jumping around. I know they don't like them leaving divisions, but you're going to have a hard time telling Henry that he doesn't get to do that considering he's already done it before. considering him and TJ Dillashaw was for champ status. Even if it was for TJ, you still understand the point. He's done a little bit of moving around. He's made it very clear that he wants to fight Volkanovski. Volkanovski has other ideas, but in all fairness, Volkanovski only has those ideas because it's the best possible option for him. Volkanovski's got 2 title fights waiting for him. Yair is champion. Even if it's interim champion, Islam is champion. Even if it's a lightweight champion, he's got 2 title fights waiting for him. He's told if he does one, he goes to the other. But this would be another champion. This would be an opportunity that he didn't have. This would be a wrinkle that wasn't there. And it's not going to get presented in another way. And by example, if Aljo beats Henry, Aljo's going to go fight Sugar Sean. We understand that. But Aljo's not going to feint or pretend or try to go to 145 pounds. He's a 135 pounder. He's a perfect 135 pounder. This is where these are the guys that he studies. He's going to go clean out the division. I'm just sharing for you. Making predictions of what's going to happen is a little bit easier for guys when you're not dealing with Cejudo. So what do you think? If he has success, is he going to play ball? Is it going to be another drop the mic moment? Is it going to be another I'm changing weight classes? Let's see what Alexander the Great has to say. Or is he going to come out and defend the crown against the number 1 contender who's Sugar Sean? It's not an easy prediction to make, but I would like to hear from you.